everybody. Happy Sunday. So how was everybody today? Boy, did we get rain here last night. Did you guys get rain? I woke up to thunder and lightning, and it must have really, really rained because I went downstairs to take a shower, and we got a basement full of water. Yay! So I've been shop vacuuming water out of the basement all day. Boy, has that been fun. So anyway, so I just got my cutting area and my scan and cut area all set up down in the basement, and now I'm moving it all upstairs because it is very wet in the basement right now. So how is everybody? Hello. Can't see who it is. Oh, hi Deb. Hi Pat. Hello. So so it must have really rained. We live up on a hill here in Anamosa, and we don't get a lot of rain. We don't get a lot of water in the basement, but it must have really rained really super hard and got a lot of inches, and we didn't have a rain gauge out. So anyway, yeah, I'm bummed about the basement. Yep. So anyway, I'm moving all of my cutting stuff to the den. So I got part of it up the stairs this afternoon, and I've been, sucking water out of the basement, trying to get all my stuff out of the basement before I got wet. So anyway, it's been an entertaining day, very different. And that's probably why my hair is very curly. If you can see, my hair is very curly because it's just a little bit humid in the basement. Got half an inch. Who said they had a half an inch? Jan? Wow, we must have gotten more than, I'm sure we got more than that, because if normally what happens if we get like rain, like if we get like 5 or 6 inches or 4 or 5 inches in a very short period of time, that's when we have water, because it just comes in. There's just no place for it to go. It just comes in the basement. I mean, it's an older home. So anyway, we've been an entertaining day. So anyway, yeah, wet basements and there's nothing in the basement. There's no carpet or anything. So that really helps. So there's not like anything to have to rip out or anything. I'm just bringing my stuff upstairs. So anyway, I guess I get to move. I'm moving my cutting table, and I'll be when I teach, it'll be a little easier because I won't have to run a cord down the basement stairs anymore for the computer. So I guess that's good. I'll be upstairs. Will be easier. Hello, everybody. Okay. So tonight we're going to do we're going to start our August pillows. Can you believe it? We're almost done with these. We have 2 left. We have this one and one next week. And we've done all of them, the whole year's worth. Oh, well, Dad's going to check the basement. And then we also have a leaking water heater. The water heater started leaking a couple of days ago, so that's in the works, hopefully for tomorrow. And then I found the water in the basement, and then of course the water heater leaked into my bathroom in the basement. So it's like I have a wet bathroom too. So anyway, I hopefully will be dry again and not floating here soon. So and hopefully they'll be able to fix I think he's going to ask him about the basement and see if there's a way we can put a sump pump in or something to help, because this is a drag. So I don't know how many. I know I've taken at least 50 gallons of water, because I know I've emptied the 5-gallon shop vac at least 10 times. So it's been I've taken 50 gallons of water out of the basement so far. So yeah, it's been fun. Okay, so I'm going to turn off my little banner here, and I'm going to show you what we're going to work on today. So we're going to work on, this one's really cute. Okay, so I really tried, guys. I really tried to do this pillow with the pom-poms that it calls for. So just so you know, I use fringe. So I am sorry. I have tried to use pom-poms. I never have good luck with them. I got frustrated, and I love fringe. So mine has fringe. So here's my little pillow. We're going to make this one tonight, and I'm going to make it with fringe. So, and if you want to use pom-poms, please let me know if you have like a trick for pom-poms, because I've never had good luck with them. So anyway, I love the fringe. So we're going to put fringe on ours. And I did pre-sew a little bit of it because there's a bunch of words and stuff. So we're just going to do the applique tonight. Okay. And for those of you with luminaires, just so you know, the new update that prepares you for the upgrade that is available is available on, and you can download it. You know, if it's like mine's telling me that it's, I'll put my camera down here. Mine's telling me that it's available. So, and the Solarises will be the same way. I don't know if they've got those done yet because the Baby Lock School is not till the end of August. All right, so let's go ahead and switch the camera here. So that's why my hair looks curly, because I've been in the humid basement today. I get a little curly when it's humid. And oh my gosh, it's so humid here. It's like all the windows are fogged over practically. All right, with the camera. Whoop, got the microphone. Can you guys still hear me okay? All right, so my machine here, I just wanted to show you. Can you see on mine? Mine's on the internet. And can you see the little exclamation point next to my little internet sign? That means that the other update, the other part of the update is available. There's two parts to it, evidently. It's the regular one, and then there's one with the videos, because there's more. They added some videos for some of the new things, the new features of the upgrade that's coming out. So anyway, that I haven't done that part of it yet. So I will continue that. I will resume it because I started and I'm like, oh, I have to get class done. So probably shouldn't do that until I'm ready to be done with class. So, okay. All right. So let's talk about, this is called Together is Our Favorite Place to Be. And I just, you know, and honestly, this is my favorite place to be, sitting in my sewing room with all my buddies. What do you need to do to make the update do its thing? Oh, so I can show you that real quick. Let me hit this. So what you do, like right now, this is the second part of it, and it says to resume, and this is going to download. Hi, Clara. So after it downloads, then it's going to say that there's an update available, and it's going to tell you to hit your needle threader button. You know, turn the machine off. Hit your needle threader button and then turn the machine on with that pushed in, and then it will continue the update. So it's very easy, especially if you've got it downloaded. Okay. So I'll resume mine after class and let it run, because they said that the videos take a little while. So if your internet's slow, it might take a while for the videos to download. Okay. So I didn't want to finish that. I want to make sure that I could teach class tonight. So, all right. So Together is Our Favorite Place to Be. So this little pillow, this is the rectangle one. And I forgot to bring out another pillow form. Sorry. So you've gotten to see this one. So we needed some, let's see. Oh yeah, we need the background piece. So let me see what I got here. This is the background piece, and I've already got this hoop because I did some of the words so that you didn't have to sit and watch all the words. So on the back of my background fabric is a piece of Shape Flex, just like we normally do. And then I took my, like I normally do, I take my fabric glue stick and I glued the back of my fabric down to my tearaway. And it says to use cutaway, but I always use tearaway. So here's the tearaway, okay? And then I hooped the whole thing in a 5x7 hoop. And you just kind of eyeball it and get it as straight as you can, okay? So that is already hooped, ready to go. And I got my Shape Flex on the back of my main fabric. And then we've got some little border pieces here. Let me show you the fabrics here. So we got, a couple short borders, a couple long borders, okay? And then you got your little backing pieces. So these are the backing pieces. And I kind of pre-hemmed them already. We'll talk about that again in a second. I pre-hemmed them because you guys have seen me done that. And I was trying to cut this out of my scraps, and can you see I had to piece just a little bit on the end of this one. I had to piece it because I didn't have quite enough fabric, but I was cutting out of my scrap bucket. So for this one. So, okay, so I got those, and let's see, what else do we need? Oh, and then we need some applique pieces. Here's the little blue applique. This piece is for the little house, the little bird house, and then the pot is red, and then the then the little bird is yellow. Okay, so here's the little pieces that we need for our appliques. And then we're going to need a little piece of twine to make a little bow, and then a button for the birdhouse. Okay, so got those. And then, of course, my fringe. So here's my fringe. I ran out of fringe. I had to buy some more. I had enough for one side, but I didn't have enough for the second side, so I had to buy some more. So I got a package of fringe here. And it does come, of course, with the pom-poms. So I have lots of pom-poms now because I use all the fringe and I never use the pom-poms. So I have all these packages full of pom-poms. So, oh well, we'll get them used up somehow. But if you have some tricks on pom-poms, let me know, because I've never done well with pom-poms. I don't know why. For years, I've never done well with pom-poms. Okay. So, and I'm going to use some colors here. So I'll hold this up so you can see it. I'm using pumpkin. This is the brother colors, 126 pumpkin, misty blue, sugar cane, sky blue, red, light brown, black, and white. And I think I forgot my white. A second here. I might need my white. Let's see, did I need white? Oh, I do. I'm going to need my white. Just a second. I forgot to pull my white out. Where'd it go? Here it is. I'll grab one. I've got one that I've been trying to get rid of, and here it is. See, maybe I'll get rid of it tonight. We'll see. Okay. So the first step, after we've quit, of course, again, I did the tearaway with the glue stick. And we've done this with all the other ones, so I think everybody knows how I did it. I just paint the back of my fabric with the glue stick, and I stick it to my paper, to my stabilizer, and then I just hoop the whole thing as well, as centered as I can. So I don't do all the, marking business. They always tell you to do all the marking business here and all that. I never do that. I just eyeball it. Okay. And then I loaded my little design. So give me a second here. I don't know if I loaded it back up again. Don't think I did. So embroidery, I'm just going to load it here quick. August. There we go. All right. Oh, Connie. Well, Connie, if you have some tricks, let me know. Connie says that she got the pillow done. She used the pom-poms, but it wasn't easy. I do not find it easy to use pom-poms. I have never yet gotten anything with the pom-poms to look good. All right, so we're going to start out with a little applique. We're going to do a little birdhouse first. And now, normally when I do my appliques, like as usual, I like to use the color of the fabric, because sometimes it surprises me and there's a motif stitch that's the cover and then it shows through. So I always do the color of the fabric. So this was my sky blue. I'm going to pull these over here. Here's my little applique pieces. So I'm going to get my sky blue and we're going to do our placement line. That's step number 1. So I was actually glad to come upstairs and sit down out of the humidity and sew this afternoon for a little bit, because I pre-sewed a little bit of this. I was tired because I've been hauling stuff around and all kinds of stuff today. So, all right. So we're going to do our little placement line for the birdhouse. That's the first thing here. And the second step, just so you know, does say use the same color for the tack down stitch, because it's going to be a motif stitch. So in step number 4 on page 3 of the instructions, it does tell you that. But I usually just use the color that I match my fabric generally from the very beginning. Okay, so we're going to lay our little piece over here and we're going to do our tack down stitch. This is such a cute little pillow. These were really fun to do, and I really enjoyed the last one. We're going to do is one that's like one of the one of the paper piece ones, and it's actually very challenging. So that one was really fun. All right, so I'm going to trim this close to the stitches. Maybe. Probably should have grabbed my glasses as usual. They're sitting over on the table. So yeah, so hopefully we'll get a new water heater tomorrow. and I'll get the basement dried out. Oh my gosh. why was I surprised? I wasn't surprised, but I didn't think it had rained that hard last night. Okay, so then the second applique on this one is going to be, this is going to be the little pot on the bottom, and it's red. So I'm going to put my red thread in. Now this one you wouldn't have had to change. This one I believe was a satin stitch, but like I said, I just started doing this years ago, and I always change my threads just so that I don't get caught by accident. All right, so we're gonna do the little pot placement line. And then we're going to put our little piece of fabric down. It's the little red fabric. Put this one down. Okay. All right, and then we're going to do the tack down line. So this is step number 4. So let me see here. Where are we going next? I can't remember what we have to do. Oh, I think it's the little bird. We're going to do the little bird. So the next step is the little birdie. He's down here, so let me pull this back. So I'm going to trim this fabric first for our little pot. I don't think I centered that. Sometimes I try to center him a little bit better, but oh well, it'll be fine. This one had kind of big print on it. All right. Put that in there. Oops. Okay, and then we're going to do the little bird. And the bird I did in sugar cane, which is that kind of yellow color. So we're going to do that. Yeah, well, I stepped outside, several times to dump the water bucket. Oh my gosh, it's just so humid out. And it still looks like it's going to storm all day. So I hope we don't get much more rain, because if we do, we're really going to have a problem. All right, so we're getting ready for the little birdie. So we're going to do our placement line for the little bird. Now this is also going to be one that's going to be a motif stitch. So it says in the next step before the placement or the tack down line to make sure you're using something that isn't going to show through. Okay. Sun is shining here. Jan, really, Jan? You're in Cedar Rapids, right? It's not, the sun is not out anywhere here. Hasn't been out all day. It's been cloudy and gray and it's just terrible humid. All right, so then we're going to put our little birdie on here. I can't remember if I had, I think this is the same fabric I had for my other one. So, all right, so we'll put the little bird on here, bird fabric on. And then we'll do the tack down stitch for that. And this is step number 12 and 13 on the bottom, page 4. Oops, something just went in there. I just lost something underneath my machine here. What did I do? I just flipped something under my arm of my machine. I have to look just a second. I have no idea what it was. Oh, I bet it was my second. We may have to remedy this. Do you have your downspouts buried? No. That helps keep the water from coming into the basement. Oh, I haven't heard about that. That's a good idea. Haven't heard about that. They are quite a ways from the basement. They have extensions on it. But okay, so we're going to trim this one. I found what was under there. I flipped my little button and stuff underneath my arm, so I wanted to get it out of there. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and trim this one. This is the little bird. This was a fun one. Both of the August ones are kind of birdhouse related. They're about birds and stuff. So nature. For August, the little paper piece one is a birdhouse. All right. So there's our little bird. Now I think the next step is his beak. So I have to look. Yeah, step number 14 on top of page 5. It's this little beak. So I used pumpkin for that. So I'll get my orange out for that. Yep, that they are draining away from the foundation, but the it's an older home, and it's a block. It's a block basement. It's a block foundation instead of a cement foundation. So. All right, let's do the little beak. All right, there we go. Off to doing this little beak. And then I think the next step is it's going to be the outline for the little birdhouse. So we're going to go back to the misty blue. Did I do misty blue on that? Change thread to desired color. Oh, maybe it's the stitch the feathers. Oh no, I'm sorry. The beak and then the little feathers on the bird. So I did misty blue on that. So this is step number 15. So we're going to do the little bird feathers and the little feathers on his tail. So I made them in blue. I don't know that birds have blue feathers, but I thought they were pretty. I like the light blue. All right. So this is going to do he's got a little top knot on the top of his head. And then it's going to do his little tail feathers too. And then it's going to do the outline. So he's got a little top knot, little hair on the top of his head. And then he's got like a little tail feathers. There we go. Okay, so now we're going to do. All right, so there is that. And now we're going to do the little decorative stitch that goes around his body. And I'm going to go back to my sugar cane for that. And then I think the next piece is actually his little wing. And I'll go back to the blue for that because there was a little wing. And they did a real pretty decorative stitch on that for his little wing. So here's his. Whoops. Helps Jan if you thread the machine. Did you know if you thread the machine, it works better? Do that all the time. I don't know why I've always done that I forget to thread the machine. It's really stupid, isn't it? All right. There we go. Works better if you thread it. So it's going to do like a little motif stitch around the bird. And then, then it's going to do his little wing. And I did that in the blue too. It was real cute. But yeah, this is one of those little motif stitches. So you do want to, that's why I matched my thread so that it would not show through. Because if you used like blue thread or something in there, it would have shown through your stitching. Okay, that looks pretty good. And now we're going to do the little wing. So I'm going to go back to the blue. Let's go back to the misty blue. To do that, whoops. And this was like a little decorative fill, as I remember. I haven't got my bird. Yeah, I think it is. It's a little decorative fill. It's real cute. All right. There we go. It's going to do that. And then I think we're going to move on to the, then you have to do his eyeball. He needs an eyeball, so we'll have to make that black. Oh yeah, it was decorative stitch. This is what it's doing. It is really cute. Let's see if you can see it here. It's like a little, you can see the little texture, and it looks like little feathers. I thought it was cute. All right. then, yeah, so this little eye is next. And then we're going to move on to the little birdhouse on the other side. So do his little eye. So yeah, I have all the stuff from the basement moved up here, and it's all sitting in front of my sewing machine table. So the next time I have to teach a scan and cut class, I'll be in the new cutting room, which is my which is the den, actually, which used to be my nursery as a child. So very small room, like very small, but it'll work, and my stuff won't get wet. I did have everything up off the floor, but it didn't make the floor any less wet. All right, so there's his eye. And then we're going to move over and we're going to do the, I think it's the, let's see what's next. Oh yeah, it's actually the little stem of the birdhouse here. So I'm going to go ahead and make that brown. I made that the 323 light brown. So we'll get that in here. Maybe if I can find the end of it. Haven't ordered the groceries yet either today. It's the other thing I got to do after class. All right, so here's going to be, this is just a nice little satin stitch. And I think we're going to go then to, I think we have to do the rest of the birdhouse. Let's see what the next page says. Yep, then we're going to do the little decorative stitch on the birdhouse, and then do the birdhouse roof. So I'm going to go to my sky blue next. This is step number 20 on page 6 of the instructions. So I'm going to go back to my sky blue that matches my fabric. So, whoops, gotta find my blue over here. So did everybody see the stuff about the new machine coming out and the new upgrade? A bunch of you have the Luminaire already, so if you have upgrades, so there's some stuff, and a couple of new small machines came out, and a new hoop, a couple of new hoops maybe. I haven't seen everything yet. It's real hard to see everything. The website's been their website's been kind of down, so I think it's finally up well enough we can see everything. But I can't find anything on their website. I always have to Google it to find anything. So yeah, so I sent an email out about the upgrade. So for those of you who are on the email list would have gotten that upgrade information. I did that on Saturday. Okay, so the next color is going to be the little roof. So this one's also a real pretty decorative fill. And I'm going to put that in the misty blue. So I'm going to go back to the lighter blue for that. I think their little fabric kit was the opposite of mine. I had a darker blue for the birdhouse and lighter blue for the roof. So this is going to be the little roof panels, and it's a decorative fit one too. No, Cindy, nothing for the square. Although I think that there's going to be a new software, like online software program that I think might work with the Stellaire too. I haven't read much about that yet. It isn't available quite yet. But there's a new, like an app, I think, that might work with the Stellaire, because the Stellaire's wireless, so it works with a bunch of the wireless machines. So that might work with your machine. I didn't expect to have a lot of new stuff this year, just because the supply chain has been kind of wonky, and I know that they wouldn't come out with a lot of really new stuff, because I don't think they can get it to us very easily, from what I understand. So, but yeah, so I'll look. Did you look at it, Cindy? You'll have to look on the website. I can't remember what it's called. It's kind of a funny name. It's Art Spira or something like that. So I need to go look at it. But it looks interesting. Yeah, this is a decorative fill too. Let me hold it up to the camera, maybe you can see it. Oh, this is sewing. It takes a minute for it to go. And you kind of see it's a little decorative fill too. Programmable fill. So it's cute. And that's what the button's for. It makes the little hole on the birdhouse, and then here's your little twine to make your little make a little bow. Yeah, these look those little oh, did you see it on YouTube? Yeah, I just need to look a little bit closer because I know I didn't get to see the whole thing, the presentation that the night that it was done. I got home late and I couldn't see it all, so I need to go do some reading this week. There we go. Oh, it's almost done. And then I think the next one, the next one is going to be the little it's going to be the satin stitch. The little pot is the satin stitch. So look at that. I'm going to put that one in the red. This was such a cute little design. But I got to the pom-poms and Jan just didn't do well. I had the whole thing put together. I turned it right side out and I hated it. So I ripped it all apart and did it with fringe. So you'll have to forgive me. It'll be with fringe tonight. The pom-poms and I just don't see eye to eye. All right, so this is going to be the pot. Oh, and then they put a little white. They put a little white triple stitch through it. And I think we have. Then I did some of the. After we get through this part, I think most of it's sewn. We'll check through it. We'll walk through the rest of it. But I sewed out some of the stuff that was just stitching, so you didn't have to sit and watch all that. But I figured you might like to see the appliques. You know, it's funny. I still get a lot of people that are very afraid of applique, and I hope everybody is getting to be more comfortable with applique. I get people that come in every day that says, "Oh, I've never tried applique. I can't do applique," and it's so simple. And just take your time and do what it tells you to do. So I love applique. I mean, I think that's one of the first things I ever learned to do was applique. It's not hard. Pom-poms don't like me either. Who said that? Cindy. I agree, Cindy. You know, pom-poms and me are just not friends. I have lots of pom-poms here because I have all these packages and all the pom-poms are still in them. Every now and then I'll put like pom-poms on like the ends of something, but I don't know. We just don't see eye to eye. All right, we're getting around there, and then it's going to do the little decorative fill around the base. Or actually, it's all around the whole pot. So we're going to put that in white. Do that in white so it shows. Whoop. This is the one. We're gonna play thread chicken, guys. Yes, that is my main problem, Connie. Connie said she doesn't like the white part that the pom-poms are attached to showing, and that is the truth. So my problem is I've never been able to get close enough with a zipper foot, because you have to use a zipper foot to pump pom-poms on, and I don't always do really well with a zipper foot. And the zipper feet and I don't always see eye to eye. So that's my feeling too. I don't like that white part showing, and it always shows. So, all right, so we're going to do the little decorative lines here. All right. And I think now I'm just going to show you what I did. Yes, theirs showed also in the pictures too. That was the end of her comment. Yes, Connie, it did. And I just don't care for that look, and that's why I usually use the fringe. I really like fringe though, and it's so much easier to put on. So anyway, I use fringe. Okay, so now the rest of it I already have sewn. So like the next step then was 24 on page 6 was the little bee. Okay, and I did that in black. And then the next step, 25, was the little swirls, and I did those in black as well. And then I did use sugar cane for the top of the little bee's wings. I did it in gold, and then red together, and then black for is our favorite place to be. Okay, so that's the rest of the sewing on it. I pre-sewed that because I figured, it takes a while for that to sew. And because there's like still another, 8-10 minutes of sewing. And we did most of the stuff fast. So that's why I wanted to just do the applique. Okay, so that is the whole top sewn out. I did do most of my jump clips. I think I got most of them. I might have a couple to do yet. He's got a little tail sticking up on his nose over here. All right, so I'll finish up the jump clips later. All right, so now we're ready to do the trimming. So I'm going to have to move the camera. If you give me a second here, I'm going to move a couple things out of the way here. And then I need to move the camera over so you can see me trim. And, oops, there we go. And I got to go wiggle my iron because I'm going to have to press this just a little bit. Okay, let me move the camera over so you can see the trimming, and then we'll be ready to do some sewing and finish up this little guy. He's so cute. I've really enjoyed doing these. I've wanted to do these ever since they came out. They've been out for, quite a while. And I've been wanting to do these all this time and have never been able to get them done. And this was a good excuse, wasn't it? So I'm going to put this in the sewing mode so that I can move my arm over here. So I was hoping everything was working okay after I did the update. Sometimes I don't like to do updates right before I teach because sometimes something doesn't quite go correctly and I have a little trouble. But I did do the update and everything seems to be working. I do have to finish it though. I have to finish the video. So, all right. So there is my cutting mat. Give me a second. I'm going to move my computer just a little closer. All right. And I'm going to take this out of the hoop. Got all the sewing done, and then I'm just going to go around and just press along the edges. Don't press on your embroidery. I'm just going to press along the edges to flatten it out a little bit. So it's nice and flat when I get ready to trim. All right. So here is our little top. So cute. Now this is another one that has like some specialty trimming instructions. So let's get the next page open here because we need to trim. And this one says to visually center the embroidered design between both the 4.5 by 6.5 and the 6.5 by 8.5 inch pop ruler. Because this one's going to end up being 4.5 by 8.5, so it's kind of long and skinny. So I got my both of my smaller rectangle pop rulers here, and I got my Martelli mat. Okay, so we're going to lay this one down first. Just lay the little one down first and get it kind of where we think it needs to be, and about evenly centered, I think. That looks pretty good. Well, it might be a little bit this way. Let's see. Might need to come this way just a little bit. That looks pretty good. All right, so then we're going to lay this one on top. Okay. Except I moved it now. I tell you. It's been a day, guys. Boy, is my back bothering me now. I was like, oh, well, that thing's a little heavy, I've been lifting the bucket of water. Okay. Are you going to do the Merry Christmas Y'all pillow? Cindy, I am not. I don't think so. Just because I'm not super hip on that one. We are doing the Halloween pillow. in August, starting in August and finishing in September. So we are going to do the Halloween pillow. Don't know that I'm going to do that one. I'm thinking I need to start thinking about October, November, and December. So it is one of the possibilities, but I'm not sure. So not sure about that one yet. Okay, so now this one, it says we're going to trim this way to do the 4.5-inch way. And I want to make sure, I'm not super happy with this yet. Let's see. Sometimes it's easier with just the one ruler, so I want to make sure I get these pretty even. Okay. I think that looks better. So I haven't decided yet on that one. I haven't bought it yet. Is it available now? I think it's available now, isn't it? I haven't bought it yet. We are going to do the Kimberbell Cuties. We're going to do the table toppers, though, starting in January. So, all right. So I think I like that better. So we're going to turn this, and I'm going to cut the top and the bottom, the long sides first, because those are going to be the 4.5-inch side. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and trim these. And just be careful when you're doing your trimming. I'm going to carefully turn it the other direction. I like to start in the ruler a little bit and pull back into the corner. It seems to work better for me. Now remember, I am left-handed, so you're going to be doing, if you're right-handed, you're going to do it the opposite way I am. It is, okay. All right, and then we're going to remove this ruler, okay? We're going to take this one out, and then we're going to cut the ends, because this one's going to be 8.5 inches long. So we're going to cut the ends and do the same thing with the ends. Okay, turn it this way. Okay, all right. And now we got to connect the dots here. I didn't bring my other ruler over, so we'll see if I can do it with the orange one. Sometimes I can and sometimes I can't. I have a heck of a time with the orange rulers. I think it's the color, because I can't always see where my lines are. So I'm going to connect those dots on the corners there. Okay, extend them out. Okay, and do this side. And with any luck at all, it turns out to be the right size. We'll see. It'd be kind of a bummer if it wasn't. That's what happens to me, is this ruler likes to move on me. All right, let's see here. Got to get this one. Oops, I can't see it. There it is. Okay. All right. So let's see. How'd we do? Not too bad. So what do you think? Got that. And then I'm going to measure it real quick to see how I did. Hopefully it's 4.5 by 8.5. It's 8.5 inches long, and it's 4.5 inches wide. Look at there. We did it. So now I'm going to go ahead and remove my tearaway. I like the tearaway on these because I like to take it off, because the cutaway seems like it, I don't know, it makes the pillow form act, it gets kind of puckery or something when you put the pillow form in. So I like to use tearaway and take the tearaway off. And technically this is not stretchy, so you would not, I normally would not use cutaway stabilizer on a non-stretchy item. You know, there's times you do, but not normally. I would not. Okay. This is pretty stable when you put that the shape flex on there. Right. Get as much of the paper off as you can. I won't have you watch me do this for too long. That's good enough. Okay, so there is my top. Look at there. Isn't that cute? What does the upgrade have that the update does not? Okay, so the upgrade has a whole bunch of stuff that the update does not. The update is just the preparation for the upgrade. There's a couple, I think what the other thing is that it made it so you could use the 10 by 10 hoop in there. I don't think you have to have the upgrade to do that for the luminaire. The upgrade also comes with the multifunction foot controller that the luminaire has not had. Technically, I had a lot of people that were using their multifunction foot controller from their Dream Machine or their Destiny, and that actually was not technically the correct foot controller. So some of the machines had a little bit of a problem with them. So they are going to put a foot control. They're putting a foot controller in the upgrade, and also a new stylus that's a lot smaller. The stylus was always had that big end on it, and it's kind of big, so that's in there. But there's a really cool edge-to-edge quilting feature. I cannot wait to see that. So that is one of the big things that is new in the upgrade. So I'm anxious to see that, because that I would use, definitely. I will not use the foot controller. So I don't like those foot controllers too well, but I know I won't use that. But the I will get it to get some of the other things. And there's a new couching feature in there, and there's some new designs and for Design Center, some other stuff for Design Center. So I need to read the whole list again to get the actual names. I just kind of read through it real quick. All right. So we're going to put my foot back on here, and we're going to do some sewing. Yeah, the hoop doesn't actually come with it anyway. The hoop is separate. You can just get the upgrade. The foot controller, like I said, I can't get the upgrade without the foot controller, so there's really no option there. So just the way it is. So okay, so now we're going to do a little sewing. Let's sew this together. And I'm going to use, let's see, what color do I want? I'm going to use the navy blue. I've got some navy blue thread here, so I'm going to use some navy blue thread. Since most of my stuff is navy blue, the backing is navy blue, so we'll put some navy blue Pima cotton thread. And they also made, of course, it will also use the new thin skinny. I always call it the skinny dual feed foot that came with some of the sewing machines last year, so they have that too. So that you can use that with the machine. I think it comes with the new XP3, which is the new machine. So you can buy it for yours if you want the little skinny digital dual feed. Okay. So now we're going to put our little borders on. So here's the borders. I think we're going to do the short ones first. Yep. So the little short ones are going to go first here. So we'll put these on first. I'm going to use my piecing stitch, which is Q02 on my machine. So I have my J foot on my machine. Let's get these out of the way here, so I won't sew them in. And we're going to sew these on the ends. So these are the little short ones that go on the ends here. So we'll do those first. Get them lined up here. All right. I have a hard time with the multifunction foot controller. It's so high. I can't put my heel on the floor when I'm driving, and I have a really hard time with that because I feel like I'm driving with my toe. Whoops. Did I get it? Yeah, I got it. Make sure I'm on the right stitch. A second. I'm going very slow. All right. So that's the only thing that's why I've never, and I've got a real small foot, so it's just never worked for me. So I don't imagine I'll ever use the foot controller, but I would like to have all that other stuff. Let me tell you, sounds cool to me. All right. And I had a lot of people that really, really miss their other multifunction foot controller, and we tried the other ones, and they do work, but sometimes it caused problems with the machines. So technically, according to Brother, that is not the correct foot controller. The one from the Dream Machine is not the foot controller for the Luminaire. That's why I think they redid it. All right, so we're going to sew the other one on here, and then I am going to go press this real quick. Press these out, and then we'll put the longer ones on the top and the bottom. All right. So there are the ends. So yeah, there's a bunch of really cool stuff in there. I need to go back and read through all the list again. All right. put these on this way. I might need a couple pins now, so I don't turn over my little seams here. Let's see how I do. These are kind of long, these little sides. So they were real narrow. They're like 1.5 inches maybe. You know, it is a little bit confusing. I thought so too. I'm anxious to, once I get it, I'll be able to give you a little, but they put a bunch of new stuff in there. We'll probably do a Shields Live on the new upgrade. In fact, I could do that this week and just talk about the new stuff that's coming out. So I might actually do that because I don't have anything to show anything, but I could at least talk about it so everybody understands a little bit more. So I might do that on Shields Live this week on Wednesday. Tim's not going to be around though, so he may not want me to do that this week. He has to go we're working on this in the schools, you know. This is the time of year we have to go do all the school repairs. All right, so here is the side. So we're going to sew these on. I'm still using Q02. We're going to sew this side on. All right. Yeah, so I've used a different foot controller all these years. I don't always use a foot controller. I actually like to sew without it. But when these machines got so big, my hand is not, I can't get up fast enough because I have to, it's so high, you know, the button's way, way up here. And so I started using a foot controller again when I got to this machine. The other ones I haven't, but this one I did. It's just so tall. And so I'm kind of used to using a foot controller again. But I've always used the one that was from my Quattro. And I think I've still got it. I mean, it was the Quattro foot controller. And I think maybe the 4000Ds came with them. It's a really old one. And it's got like a retractable cord. So that's the one I'm using. I think this is the one Judy gave me from her dead 4000D. So the foot controller is probably 10 years old at least. But I've always liked this one. But I can put my heel down on the floor because it's narrow at the end. The angle is narrow and I can get my foot on the floor because I really have trouble just driving with the front part of my foot. You know, we don't do that in a car, right? You know, you put your heel on the floor. So, okay, so we're going to pull these little borders up. Ooh, those are cute. Look at there. All right. So let me go press these out. Finger press them a little bit, and then I'll go press these out. Yeah, so give me a call on Tuesday about if you have more questions about the upgrade. There's a lot of info out there about it, but it is a little bit confusing. All right, so I'm going to go press this real quick, and then we'll start working on the fringe. Okay, so here is the top. Look at there. You must be tall. I'm 5'2", and I always drive with my toe. Oh, no, well, no, I'm not. I mean, I'm only 5'6", but the front part of your foot is up on the pedal, and your heel's down on the floor normally. But so I have the same problem when I drive the sewing machine. You know, I feel like I have to drive the same way, and I've always had trouble with the other foot controller because it's very tall this way. So my foot won't, my foot's up on the foot controller and my heel won't go down on the floor. So I've always liked a smaller foot controller. Okay, so there's our little top. Okay, so the next part is going to be the, and they told you here to go ahead and like sew on your button and put the little bow on there. But I did that at the end. I always like to do that after I put the pillow in. And I used hot glue. I actually didn't sew mine on, so I just used hot glue for mine. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to put our fringe on. Second, I got to find where'd my piece of fringe go? Oh, there it is. It's stuck to my fabric. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and we're going to do our fringe. So the deal with the fringe, I'm just going to put it on the ends, the short ends. And I like to start in, boy, I bet this one's kind of weird. We'll see if this one will work. Okay, this end's better. So I like to start in from the edge about 1/4 of an inch because I don't want my fringe to get stuck in my seam allowance up here. Okay, so we're going to trim this down just a little bit. The one end of my fringe isn't the best, so hopefully I can use mostly the good end here. Just going to trim this down a little bit. Okay, so that's what we're going to start in about 1/4 of an inch. And then what I'm going to do is, I like my other little glue stick here. I like to glue this down because then it's easier to keep it from moving. So I'm going to glue this down with my little swing or my sew line glue stick. I'm just going to put my glue stick along the end here of my top. And then we're going to glue the fringe down. But I want to stay in about 1/4 of an inch, maybe just a hair more. So like sometimes I'll stop about 3/8 of an inch. I don't want that to get stuck in my stitching. Okay, so see how I started right here? And then we're going to just put this along the edge here. Whoops. With the fringe in. Bring this along. Okay. Yeah, my fringe isn't very good on this end, so it's a good thing I'm cutting it off on this end. I had just a little piece left. All right, so we're going to do the same thing. We're going to trim that off about 3/8 of an inch or so from the edge so that it doesn't get caught in my seam. There we go. That end was kind of ravelly. All right, like that. Okay, so I have my little space there, and then I'm going to flip it over and we'll do the other one. I got to get this, got to get a new package open. I had to buy more. Now, this is the hardest part, is trying to find the end of it. I usually just have to rip the thing off the top. I usually just rip the thing off the top and pull the fringe off. I can never find the end. All right. And do the same thing here. It looks like we need to trim a little bit here too. You guys look for your scissors as much as I do. I mean, I constantly am looking for my scissors. All right. So we're going to do the same thing. Get my sew line glue stick. I'm going to, whoops, second here. I've got kind of a messy glue stick right now. It's very humid here. I've noticed that my glue sticks react to the humidity. It's not that humid in the house, but it's so humid outside. Oh my gosh, it's just like, it's like you could cut it with a knife. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing. Start in about 3/8 of an inch, a good generous 1/4 inch anyway, from the edge. I think I got it quite in there. Let's see. There we go. I'm going to stick it down, and I really like the glue for this. It works really well because then it doesn't scoot around on me. Okay, so then this one, I want to cut this off a little bit. Okay. Oh, I think I cut it off too much. You may have to try to put this back in there. Well, I think I cut it off a little bit too much. Let's see if I can move it down just a little bit. Sometimes my fringe wants to be contrary. There we go. That looks better. Okay. Let's get some of this mess out of here. It was kind of contrary. Okay. I think that'll be okay though. All right. So now I'll put these aside. And you could do this with the pom-poms if you have good luck with pom-poms. Yes, and the seam ripper. I think they hid that. Yes, I know. Seam rippers, yes. Is that you, Cindy? Yes. I look mostly. Oh, Marianne, yes, I did. They came the other day, and Lynn is going to be sending them up with the Uber driver. Lynn ordered them in Davenport. So Tim is our Uber driver. So he's always shuffling things back and forth to us. So yes, we ordered those pens. And they came. Okay. Now, the next thing I do is I always go over here before I put the back on. I like to get this, you know, oops, I might have to put a little more glue there. Okay, I like to take my little ends and push them in towards the center so that they don't get stuck in the stitching. Okay, so I like to stick them in like that on both ends. Oh yeah, aren't they awesome? I'm so excited about trying that pen. I can't wait to use it again because, oh my gosh, it was so much easier. It's held the pens. Okay, so there is my fringe is scooted in, and now we're going to put the back on. So now we're just ready for the back. And you see how I wrote in here with exclamation point, no palms. Okay, so I want to put the big one on first, just like I usually do. I like this to be on the outside, so I like the bigger one to be on the outside. So we'll put that one on first. And I'm sorry, I have a little piece in mine down here. That's why there's an extra seam there, because I ran out and I had to piece it. So, okay, so let's do our raw edges together. Ooh, I even got it the right size. Look at there. Did better than I thought I did. Ouch, I just poked myself. Okay, I'm gonna do the side here. But yeah, I had to piece this one, so I had to cheat a little bit. I didn't have quite enough. It was only about an inch or so, but it's fine. You actually can't see it much from the other side. All right, let's get this side. We'll get this side. I enjoy the, yeah, I'm really looking forward to doing some ScanNCut classes now because I can teach them upstairs. The internet, I don't have to worry so much about the internet. I have to drop a cord down the basement stairs to do the classes down there, and because the wireless is a little bit, it's okay because the router's not far away, but I'm still in the basement, you know, and so routers don't always work well in the basement. All right, so the raw edges are together, you know, this is up my little hem, you know, I turned it over 1/4 of an inch and another 1/4 of an inch, and then we're going to put the short one on top and do the same thing, raw edges, and then my little hem piece is here. All right, get these corners here. My one corner is a little far away, but it'll be fine. All right, put a pin in here. And with that glue on there, it really holds the fringe nice. Then you don't have to worry. So now remember, this is where we always want to know where our little overlap is, because we need to sew over that. It's right here to here. And we want to we'll sew over that to make sure that it's good and strong so we don't rip it when we put the pillow in. Get that. I have a hard time. I've always had a hard time with that. So I started doing back stitching over it, and it really made a difference. I could have done that, Connie. It's hard to get the pillow in though that way. So honestly, you can't see it from the other side because I pieced it with dark blue thread, and you really can't see it from the other side. So, okay, so these are our little overlaps right here. I'm going to leave on Q02. Let me move this a little closer here. Get it out of the way of my arm. And then I'm going to start right there and do my 1/4 inch seam. And I'm going to back up over that little area because I want to make sure that that's good and strong there. So I'm going to go over it. I'm going to reverse where the other pin was, and then we're going to sew over it again. And I know it's good and strong. I'll start pulling the pins out here. We're going to sew all the way around. I love envelope backs. They're so easy. Okay, so we're going to get to our corner. We're going to turn it. And you notice I got my pivot feature on. I love the pivot feature. And you don't have to start and stop so much. It just raises and lowers your foot for you. So we're getting back over here to this other corner. I use the pivot a lot when I'm piecing also, like if I'm piecing quilt blocks. So anyway, I think we decided that we're going to do the Kimberville Cuties, the little table toppers. We're actually going to do those on Sew Along with Jan. So those will start in January. We were going to do them for Kimberbell Club in the store, but we decided we wanted to do something else. So I'm going to do those on Sew Along with Jan instead. So we'll do those starting in January. And we're actually going to have then there'll be 2 classes every month. One will be the piecing, and one will be the embroidery. And then I'm going to do a video on how to quilt them all. And the quilting is going to be basically the same on all of them, but it will be a different design. So I'll probably do a video that you can refer back to for the quilting for each one. And I'm going to quilt them with the clear blue tiles. So we decided that that's what we're going to do. So those are going to be on Sew Along with Jan starting in January. So the Kimberbell Cuties are their little, it's one of their original patterns, and they were actually little sewing patterns that are little table toppers, and there's one for each month. So that's what we're going to do for next year. So we'll do all of them, all 12 of them. They're so cute. And I might possibly do, if I have time, I might possibly do the like the one for January, like I did last year over Christmas time, and upload the videos, and then everything would be then we'll do the February and one in January, just to keep ahead of the month. So I might get that worked out. So all right, so now we're ready to turn this right side out. Remember Grandma's little trick. I'm going to take my first finger and put it in the corner, pull it back, and then pull it down to the seam line and push it down to the seam line, hold the little corner and poke it out. And then I got that beautiful, beautiful corner. My grandma was a cool lady. She taught me all kinds of little tricks. Okay. All right. So then we're going to take the little point turner, my little Floriani point turner. So yes, I could have put the little one over the top, but it's so much easier to get the pillow in this way. Okay. Then we're going to do this. We're going to do this one. We're almost done. And see how easy and fast the fringe is? I would have been probably saying really bad words if I was doing pom-poms right now. So I didn't figure you'd want me to say bad words online. So the pom-poms, and I said some really bad things when I was trying to work up the pom-poms. And I thought, you know what? Life's too short. This is fun. So we just got rid of the pom-poms and did fringe. Look at there. See how easy that is? Okay. How did we do? I like the fringe. You always have to kind of clean it up. Okay, so then I will go over to my ironing board. We don't have to do that tonight. I will go over to my ironing board and I will press that down, and I'm going to glue. I know, doesn't grandma's trick work well? It does. And then I use my little point turner to finish it up. Isn't that cute? So then I'm going to put my little, where'd they go? So I'll put my little, and what I did with this one is I took a little bit of thread. Can you see? I just took some thread and put it in the eye of the button, in the holes of the button, and just then I'm going to glue that down. So I'll glue that here, and then I'm going to make a little. I'm just going to make a little bow out of this the baker's twine or whatever they call it, the little red and white twine, and then put a little bow on the pillow. So let me get rid of my pins here, so because otherwise I'll have them all over the floor. There we go. And I'll show you my other pillow if I can find it. Where did I put it? Oh, here it is. All right, so here it is. I think the fringe looks good. I like the fringe. And then here's the little button with the little polka dots, and then here's the little twine, and just put a little bow at the bottom of your birdhouse. Isn't that sweet? And it's so simple. I like some of these little ones that are simple because they really makes them cute, I think. And then there's the back. Okay. So yeah, this one I'll finish up after after class, and I have to go down and suck some more water out of the basement probably. I've been trying to keep up with it a little bit so that it's been coming in pretty heavy today. So, but what do you think? I thought that this one was really fun. And next week's is really fun too. Next week's is this one. So let me put the camera back up so you can see it. Well, maybe you can see it here. This is next week's. So this one is one of the ones that's paper pieced. Now they did it though in a 5x7 hoop so that you do the birdhouse and everything in the 5x7 hoop, but then these little pieces, like all of this will fit in the smaller hoop, but then you have to put these little skinny pieces on with the sewing machine. So because they've done some stuff like this before that this would have been in an 8x8 otherwise. So this is one I'm anxious to do. It was very fun. I really like this one a lot. Oh, and you like this one? You liked the little one, Marianne, this one? You like this one, or did you like this one? These are fun. I love to do the paper piecing. Oh, these are such nice little gifts. Aren't they nice little gifts? I've been giving these to a friend of mine in Illinois, so I'll send these to her. Once we get the 2 August ones done, I'll send her the August ones. And then she has the whole year, and she can just keep putting them out. Isn't that one? The one you just did? Oh, the one you just did. Yep, that one's darling. I like the rectangle ones, and I love the square ones too, but so often the rectangle one's my favorite. So these turned out really good. All right, so next week we're going to work on this one. Okay, and then we're going to start Home is Where the Haunt Is. So then we're going to start the Halloween pillow after we do this one next week. Then we're going to start the Halloween pillow. So and then I've also made some videos so that you'll have a video for all the blocks for the Halloween pillow, and we'll do that. It'll take about 4 weeks to do the Halloween pillow. So not doing the pineapple one. Oh, the pineapple one, I liked that one. It was a little unusual the way they did it. Did you say there is a video for the inserts? No, but I can tell you how I make. You mean the little pillow inserts, Connie? My little that I make. I usually make them out of muslin, and there is actually a video. If you go back to YouTube into the Bench Buddies playlist, it's in the September one. I went through everything and talked about my pillow inserts. So I'll just give you the sizes. I make them out of muslin, and I do this one. It ends up 5.5 by 9.5. So I cut my pieces of fabric, 2 pieces of fabric. I cut them 6 by 10 and sew them together with a 1/4 inch seam and turn them and stuff it. Okay. And I did that in that video. It's the very first video I did in September of last year. Okay. And then the 8x8 one, I cut my squares 8.5 by 8.5 and do the same thing. Take a 1/4 inch around the outside edge and then just leave a little opening and stuff it. Okay, and I like to use muslin because I think they hold up really well because it's nice, strong fabric. So, okay, so I didn't really do a whole video on just the inserts, but I did do it in that September one from last year. So if you need to have a little help putting it together, but I try to tell everybody the sizes of all the pillow inserts each time. So if I've forgotten in a couple of videos, you might have to go back and watch that September one. So, okay. So I want to say goodbye to everybody. Thank you for joining me this evening. I will go down and continue. I will go down and continue my cleaning in the basement. And hopefully the water will stop coming in soon. So yeah, it's but I might as well just have class. I needed to take a break from because it comes in so fast. You get rid of it and then it comes back in. So I figured I'll go down and do it again tonight. I'll even take a shower. Hopefully we get a new water heater. That's the big thing. So anyway, all right. So next week we'll do this little pillow. Here's the one we did tonight, all finished up. And then we'll be starting Halloween pretty soon. So I'm very excited. I like Halloween. So, all right. So everybody have a good week and I will be seeing you. So I'm going to do Shields Live on Wednesdays. So we'll figure out what we're going to do. I think I might do something about the upgrade. So, or at least talk about it. So, and I will see everybody hopefully on Wednesday on the Shields Facebook page, and then see me on YouTube. And I will see you next week here at 6 o'clock. Thanks, everybody. Bye.